Welcome to Oyate Today. Oyate in Lakota means people. Brought to you by Native Sun News Today. Hi, welcome to Oyate Today. I'm your host, Richie Richards. Oyate Today is produced by Tim and Jackie Gallego. Tim is an enrolled member of the Oglala Sioux tribe. Our guests tonight are Bev Warrne and Matie Tyson of Rapid City Community Conversations. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate this. And we're going to be talking about this event here, which is the Four Directions 5K Community Unity Day celebration happening here in September. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that as we go along. But Matie, Bev, you're a veteran of our show. You've been on before. I'd like to learn a little bit about Matie, and if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go on to Bev.
Well, I'm part of Rapid City for quite a while, but initially my husband was in the Air Force, so we've moved around a lot. And so we settled here in Rapid because we like it so much.
It's an awesome place.
Yes. I was in early childhood and parent education as a career, and am retired now. So I'm
You're enjoying retirement then?
Yes.
And you get to work on projects like this. That's always nice.
Yes.
And Bev, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself as well.
I'm enrolled at Pine Ridge, Oglala Lakota tribe, and born and raised there, and moved to Rapid City after World War II because my father couldn't find work on the reservation, and we heard there was work in Rapid, so we moved here. And so I was educated here through the school system back in the 50s. Late 40s, 50s, and I graduated from Rapid City High School in 1959.
Wow, so you've been in Rapid City for a long time.
Yes, I did move away for a while to Arizona, but of course we all come home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Black Hills call us back all the time. I mentioned that you guys are from Rapid City Community Conversations, but more specifically, you're also a part of the Council of Elders then.
Yes.
And what is this exactly, Matie, and how long have you been involved with this?
Well, I've been involved with community conversations since the beginning, and on the Council of Elders for, I think it's 2 or 3 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's that experience been for you?
It's been wonderful. Part of the reason for community conversations is to bring different groups together, and we exemplify that with our Council of Elders. We have we have a variety of people on we have Native American women, we have 2 white women, and a Black woman. So
that's
we're very
good. Some good diversity
diverse.
there.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so the Rapid City Community Conversations was born, unfortunately, out of a couple of tragic and some events that occurred in our community. And so Bev, can you talk to us about kind of how Community Conversations got started, and because it's been going on for the last 5+ years then, from what I understand.
There was a shooting incident in December of 2014 of a young Lakota young man. And then in January of 2015, there was an incident at a hockey game in Rapid City where some young students from American Horse School on Pine Ridge Reservation came as a reward for perfect attendance and being a good student. They were treating them to a night in Rapid City at the hockey game. And there was an incident of a gentleman, a man who spilled beer on the children from the balcony and said some racially disparaging remarks to the children. And that brought up a spontaneous reaction among citizens in Rapid City, not just the Lakota people, but Washichus and everyone. And I think it was because it was a group of children who were good students, being rewarded for being a good student and coming to Rapid City for a reward and then experiencing that horrible incident. And it was the age of a child where it's pivotal for them in terms of feeling, getting that identity of who they are. So there was a lot of ramifications from that. And so the citizens of Rapid City got together, some people did, and said, let's do something. And start with conversations, start with knowing each other, learning about each other, appreciating each other, validating each other, and do some community efforts to make Rapid City a better place to live for all of us.
Definitely. I remember those early meetings, and you would have round tables with individuals from law enforcement to educational backgrounds, nursing, to all of these different backgrounds coming together and having these harsh conversations about things that made them a little uncomfortable. But in the end, that table, after going through those semi-awkward moments at some point, sometimes, really began to bond and form a friendship and a relationship, even though they were talking about some of the differences in their own lifestyles and the things that they've experienced in their lives. So it's been a good ride. I've been following the community conversations. A large part of it is doing things like events like this. This is in its 5th year now. It's the fourth year for this. And so, born from those tragic events that you had mentioned, has been really positive things like this. And so if you could tell us a little bit, well, first of all, what is the significance, Bev, of the 4 directions, and why is it called a 4 directions walk?
4 directions, as is pictured on the flyer with the medicine wheel symbol, symbolizes the 4 directions of our living the directions, north, south, east, and west. But the symbolism goes much deeper in terms of keeping balanced in your life. And the symbolism is used in many, many ways, including decision making. When you're in the process of making a decision, for instance, your values are embedded into your spirituality of who you are and what you value. So you take those values from the spirituality segment, and you move to mental aspect, which is decision making based on your values. And then you move around the medicine wheel, you get to the physical part of the medicine wheel, and that is where you take action to implement that decision that was based on your values. So you do this, and then you move into the emotional part of it, which is, you can think of it as how you're feeling about your decision based on your values. And if you feel good about it, then you strengthen that and move forward with your decision. But if you reevaluate and think it's not going to work, then you change. So that's one way to think about the medicine wheel, which is used in many, many ways to teach our children.
And Matie, just based on what Bev was talking about there, do you think that I guess I wanted to know how you relate to what Bev was talking about with the 4 directions and those Lakota teachings and indigenous teachings, and how that affected your life as a non-native person or as a transplant to the area. Then how has this experience for you, being involved in community conversations, have people like Bev in your life understanding these concepts? How has that affected your life, and is that relatable to you then?
Definitely. It's a picture, and it's a process that can really relate to, no matter really who you are. And knowing that helps Native and non-Native really understand each other better, because we can come from a central place and understand each other because we all, we know what physical and spiritual and all of that means for us, but when we understand what it is for other people, we can better relate with each other.
And that's a major part of these conversations then. That's awesome. We're going to take a break, but when we get back, I want to learn a little bit more about this walk and the event coming up here in September. So we'll be back after a short break.
Closed captioning for Oyate Today is brought to you by Black Hills Energy. Native Son News has been voted the best weekly newspaper in its class for 2015 by the South Dakota and North Dakota Newspaper Associations. You can find a copy of the Native Son News at many businesses and vending machines in Rapid City and the surrounding area, and on all 9 reservations. We publish every Wednesday, so advertisers and subscribers can reach our diverse readership by calling 605-721-1266. The Native Son News covers the other side of the story.
You can't predict life's ups and downs. You just give it all you've got to stay on top. But it's easier with a partner like Security First Bank. Since 1898, we've been riding with you through the country's biggest ups and downs. And this is where we'll stay. Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on. Member FDIC.
I got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. That I was scared of. Very sad and all that I could do was remember you. You know I usually say no, but if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. Once again, our guests tonight are Matie Tyson and Bev Warrne of Rapid City Community Conversations. Thank you both so much for being here and sharing your experiences with the organization. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the 4 Directions 5K, what is it, a Run Walk Community Unity Day celebration. It's happening on September 14th here in Rapid City. Is everybody invited to this event then?
Yes.
Yes,
And I'm sure that
the whole
there's...
community.
Oh, good, good. And so what can they
Everybody.
expect then? When, Matie, what can they expect when they come down to the celebration then?
Well, there's going to be, everyone's gathering 9 o'clock, but check in earlier. And if you register, you will get a t-shirt.
Oh, awesome.
And then there'll be a photo. It's kind of a fun event. They take a picture of everybody and their
That's that
t-shirts.
large aerial shot. I've seen that. And then each
Yeah.
person, there's the red, white, black, and
Symbolizing.
yeah,
Right,
with
and
the
it's part of
symbol.
the-
Yeah, I've
yeah.
seen those photos
Yeah.
around.
And then they take off. The walkers will go in one direction and the runners will go in the other in a different, for 5K. That's what the 5K is about.
And so where are we meeting at with this event? Where's
At
this?
the Memorial Park,
Near the band shell then?
yes.
Okay, cool. And I understand, Bev, that you're going to be honoring 4 members of the community. And if you could talk about that, because from what I understand, they are healers and transformers, which is a part of the Rapid City Community Conversations, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
and who's being honored then?
This year, the honorees are Sarah Pierce, Amy Sazu, Carla
Douglas.
Douglas,
Yeah.
Carla Douglas, wonderful lady, and the Council of Elders. And then the organization being honored is RAI.
Rural American
Yes,
Initiatives.
Rural America Initiatives.
And so why are each of those individuals and organizations being honored then? What have they given to our community to be honored like this?
Sarah Pierce is in education field, and when she came back from Nebraska, she became the Native American, the Indian Education Office Director, which includes the titles in education and so forth. And she did hit the ground running. She is so energetic, well prepared for her work, very, very focused on the education of our children, not just Lakota children, but all the children in the school system. And her focus was the idea of teaching the idea of educating all of our students in K through 12 about our history, meaning the Lakota history and some of the languages, of course. But she stayed there for a while. I think it's been 2 or 3 years, and then she transferred. She became a Bush Scholar, a recipient of this wonderful honor from the Bush Foundation to continue her work in the education of our children. So she's doing it from a private perspective now. She has very good grounding and making a big difference, and will continue to do so.
She's awesome.
Yes.
And as far as Amy
Amy Sazu works at RAI as a development officer, and she is the president of the Native American Parents Organization in Rapid City, quite involved with committees all over the city, giving her time and effort, her knowledge, to again make our city a better place to live. And she too is quite knowledgeable in the educational system. She's the perfect one to be the president of the Native Parents Organization.
She's a real sweetheart.
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
And as far as Carla Douglas?
Carla Douglas is an individual who gives of herself, again, like the previous two I talked about, for the betterment of Rapid City in terms of being inclusive of everyone. Not just the people of color, but the people that tend to be ostracized for different reasons, like the LGBTQ organization, and just everyone who feels marginalized. And she's out there doing for others and having good suggestions in terms of how to be a better relative. So she too is outstanding.
3 strong women, definitely,
Yes.
for our community, and
Yes.
good leaders too, positive
Yes.
leaders, and for our community. Matie, why are the Council of Elders being honored in this at this event as well? Then
They are holding the conversations. I mean, we're the guiding principle, so to speak, for the community conversations, and trying to make everything inclusive within our organization and within the community. And we've been able to be a place for people to come and be able to be heard, and then be able to resolve some conflicts maybe.
so
Yeah.
individuals or people come to the Council of Elders, and they may have a situation in their life at some point, and you kind of give them this guidance. Then is that what it is, or?
We listen to them, yes, and are able to maybe calm down ruffled waters, so to speak, and help both sides or one side.
That's a good grandparent role,
Yeah.
definitely. Thank you for sharing that. And Rural America Initiatives, they're being honored for their contribution. How?
To the city, and of course focused on our children. So this will be the 3rd year that we do choose an organization that is doing that very thing in terms of contributing to the community as a whole by the very work that they do. And of course they have the Oyate program, which is a mentoring program within the school system that has made a huge difference in terms of graduation rates for our children, and being there as a support for children who may not have someone to talk to. They do have a mentor that's assigned to them that they can go to, as if it's a sibling or a parent or an auntie or unchi or somebody that they feel they can share their thoughts and whatever pain they are experiencing.
That mentorship is important in anybody's life.
It is.
Even at any age, people need mentors, especially the positive ones that are in the Oyate program.
Yes.
And I've seen somewhere that their graduation rates were in the mid-90 percentile, somewhere in there. So that's just amazing in
It's
itself.
a huge difference.
We're going to take a break. We'll learn a little bit more about the event coming up on September 14th. We'll be back after a short break.
kindness. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
You maybe know that earning a GED can increase your lifetime earnings, can be a first step into a university or technical institute. But maybe you don't know how easy preparing for the GED test is anywhere in the Black Hills. Classes are free, a service of the Career Learning Center of the Black Hills and Black Hills Special Services Cooperative. Go online to learn more or call. Earning a GED can change your life.
Success in school begins with starting strong.
Tell me 2 of the best things about your school.
I like the teachers, math centers, and math.
How has Starting Strong helped you?
Well, the Starting Strong program I think was important to me because as a single mother, I was able to give my child the best education that they could get, and the Starting Strong program gave us access to preschool that gave him a good foundation to start elementary school.
Thank you.
Being connected to him with the earth.
Positive pride. Pride of being Lakota.
Look around you and look at your culture. Look at the people who care about you. There is hope. There is always hope. There will always be hope.
Suicide isn't the Lakota way. If someone you know needs help, please call 867-HOPE, a public service message from the Lakota Voice Project.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. Once again, our guest tonight is Matie Tyson and Bev Warrne. Thank you both so much for being here and sharing the information about your work in community conversations, but also about the great event that's happening here. Another component or another part of the community conversation is the innovation teams, correct? Mm-hmm. And what is this about then? Because I know that there are groups that are working in certain areas. So if you could just tell us a little bit about these innovation teams.
Well, we have 3 innovation teams, and these are people have come together to focus on different areas. The Healers and Transformers focus on helping the wider community understand the Native perspective and how they can view the world as that's different than the bigger community.
Sure.
And they have lectures and have workshops and ways of learning that way. Then there's the Mitakuye Oyasin, and that's the environmental group. And we're focusing in on well, for one of the things we're looking at is adopting a park, and we then adopt a park and take care of that park and get to know that part of the country, of the city, and the people who might be using that park. And there's different other things. They have a cleanup, which everyone is invited to come, and it's a good way to get to know each other.
Sure.
You know, when your hands are busy, then you can relate better, and you have more ease and have fun together too. And then there's the Woloko Kishiapi, and that's where we bring people in who may have an issue or feel that they have something they need to talk about, and they're able to come and talk about it and be heard and feel like they're heard.
Your Lakota is really good. You said those words really good. Good job.
I got a lot of
good mentors
here.
That's
and I don't know it as much as I probably should.
Good job, though, definitely. Tell me a little bit more about this event then, Bev. What can we expect? I'm bringing my family there. How is this a day going to look? What's going on this day?
We truly want to live what we call it, community unity, meaning bringing all people together. Everyone is invited. We encourage families to come, whether they run or walk or just go there to visit the vendors, because we also have several vendors that come there and set up their tables. And for instance, the Baha'i community has a table usually, and other organizations regarding environmental health. And I work at SDSU College of Nursing, so I always have a table there to let the people know that, first of all, that SDSU has a college here in town, but the fact that we are, I represent the Native American component of it in terms of recruitment and supporting our nursing students. And I know this year that the University of South Dakota Oyate Center has a table planned to talk about disability among our people, which is pretty high regarding not just physical disabilities, but other mental disabilities and such. So it's educational, it's entertainment, it's people are happy and greeting each other, and that's the kind of a community that we are striving to achieve here in Rapid City. So everyone's invited. We would like to make it grow as the years go by and have more people involved.
And so you're, from what I gather then, it's not a Native American event, it's a community event, right? Correct?
Exactly.
And so in the couple of years that you've been involved in this, have you seen a change in our community, Matie, from your perspective then, from just being involved in this program and things? Have you seen some real change in our community?
I think so. There's much more openness to listen to each other and to share.
Good. I'm glad that there's progress. I feel it too. I sense it too. And our families we're all in the same Walmart together, in the same stores together. I just wanted to share your websites though, where you can get more information. It looks like www.rcconversations.org, and that's where they can learn about community conversations, other events, other things happening in that organization. And it looks like to register for the event and get your free t-shirt, it's a free t-shirt, correct?
Yes.
You go to www.eventbrite.com, and there they can register and get their free t-shirt for the day. That's going to be awesome. I want to thank you both so much for coming on our show. I wish you the best of luck in the event there and everything else that you're working on. And if there's anything else that you want to share with us, please come back on our show. And Bev, you're an awesome role model for our community. And Matie, thank you for coming on our show as well. So thank you so much once again. Bev, thank you so much again. And I want to thank our producers. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank Prairie Edge for hosting our show tonight. And I want to thank the awesome work of Rapid City Community Conversations and leaders like yourselves. And I want to thank you for making Oyate today a part of your night.
You've been watching Oyate Today, brought to you by Native Sun News Today.